Well, this would be a fun activity if we were all here. It's a little bit easier for me because I don't have to tear the room down after fourth hour and build the setup and then take it all down again so that I can have class afterwards. But it's a lot more fun when you actually get to watch. I don't know how this is going to do on video, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. These are my favorite toys from when I was just a kid, grade school, middle school. I would spend hours with these, and some of them are newer. Some of it is, a lot of it is track actually from when I was just a kid. And we'll go through and I will show you what it is made of. And you'll have to use that for some of your measurements. And I will give you the measurements. You'll have to calculate the stuff, and you can find the lab for it in the documents on the physics page, and it will just be the week 1 physics 500, and you will get that. There are 3 pages, and you will use the worksheets on the first 2, the instructions, and that should help you fill out the last page. The last page is all that I really need back, and a couple ways you can do that. You can just fill it out and then take a picture of it, save it as a file and put it in the Dropbox, or it should be a Word form that you fill out, put down. You should be able to just type it in and then just save it as a file, put it back in the Dropbox as well. And we will do the setup part here, and you can do some of the calculations, and then you are going to have to send me a pass-a-note telling me which car you would like to be running. And there's not enough that everybody could have their, oh, there are, but I don't have enough hands to take care of all of that. So I've got 5 cars, and you don't have to pick. Not everybody has to have, obviously, a different one. You just tell me which one you'd like. Just send me a pass-a-note, and then you'll do the data on that, and I'll make sure that those are running as well as possible. And then we'll have to run the time trials on each one of those individually, and you'll get your calculations from that, and then we'll do the race. But obviously those videos will be made at the beginning of next week once I have it. So let's say by Monday evening, pick your cars. Give them as early as you can, because I can make some of the videos earlier, and then we can have the race later. The race is really just watching it, and that's the part I'm not sure is going to show up very well on camera, but the time trials are what you need to actually do your calculations. And then there will be information on the page on physics that will explain. If you have questions on Thursday morning, and you can see what time it is, maybe it's like 10 or 10:30, we can do a Zoom time, and you can actually ask questions, and I can kind of explain if you don't understand a certain part of it. And that'll be a standing Zoom conference, and it'll just be for questions and answers. I'm not going to try and teach you over the computer while you're all sitting there in Zoom. It sounds great. I watched somebody try it, and it just doesn't look like it's all that efficient. So we'll use it for questions and answers. And if you don't have any questions, then obviously I will miss you, but you don't have to check in. It's not a graded thing that you have to actually be there for Zoom. But you would be able to see all the rest of the class there. It would be a video thing. But let's go ahead, and I will show you some of the measurements, and then we'll build the track, and I'll show you the cars. You can pick the cars you want. So first I'll show you the different track pieces because you'll need to know the measurements of each of those for your calculations. All right, the wide or the long section is 60.3 centimeters. The shorter sections are 40.3 centimeters, and the curve, the one at both sides, has a diameter of 68.5 centimeters. Now that's the diameter, which can be helpful, but make sure you're using the right formula, and you can assume that that's exactly a half circle. So you'll have two half circles at either end of the track, each of which have a diameter at the very top, because that's where the cars are going to be running most of the time, is at the very top of the track of 68.5 centimeters. I wish it would have been that quick to actually assemble the track, but it wasn't too bad. We've got it all together. Now I'll show you the cars. You have 5 cars to choose from. First one is a 1969 Mustang GT500. And then a 1968 charcoal Camaro. A lot of Camaros in this bunch. 1968 silver Camaro. All of these cars have been the fastest car in years past. The fourth car is a 1970 split bumper Camaro. This is the first year of the second generation Camaro. The last one is a 1970 Cuda. So pick one of those and send me a pass-a-note as soon as possible, and I'll make sure all the cars that are selected are running as good as possible, as well as possible, and then we can start the time trials. And for your data, the track again has 2 of those curves that you saw earlier that would make a complete circle if you just put them together, and then there are 16 of the longer track sections and 4 of the shorter track sections. So 2 short track sections and 8 longer track sections on either side of the track, and that you can use to calculate the distance that the car will travel in one lap.